Welcome to Motherology, an opportunity to discuss all things motherhood, all the ups and downs and roundabouts and crazy. An opportunity for us to grow and tell our stories and become the best mums we can be, not because I'm going to tell you what to do, but because we're going to figure out how awesome we really are. Okay, now we're really getting into the meat. The real meat of this album. This album is a storybook. This is a story of my journey with motherhood, and I'm sure that many other mums can relate to my story. But it's always relevant to tell your own story rather than to try to tell everybody else's. So this is my story, but I really hope that you guys can relate to these things and apply some of what I'm saying to your own lives. And I don't know, so maybe it's helpful. But this song for me is the central song in the album because it's the central emotional theme for me of the difficult side of motherhood. And as you can tell, I like to be honest. I like to tell the truth. And telling the truth in this case pertains to identity. If you look through a lot of the tracks in this album, if you go through everything that's actually in there, you'll find a lot of the theme of identity being spoken about. And for this song, Who Am I? It's kind of obvious. It's called Who Am I? And I designed the song to be a call and response between women, to have the conversation. So in the chorus, you literally hear, who am I? With a bunch of women singing, who am I? Back. Where am I? Where am I? Who am I? Who am I now? Because the idea is we need to have this conversation, ladies. We need to have the conversation about how becoming mothers affects who we are, fundamentally who we are. It is a really important thing. A lot of people are like, oh, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I'm so happy and nothing's ever going to be different. I actually think that a lot of people really, really love becoming mothers. Of course we do. Most people, it's like, this is the best thing. I love it. I'm so grateful I'm a mom. I get to do all these things. But the different stages of our kids' lives affect everybody differently. So for some people, little kids is a dream. It's easy. It's fun. It's wonderful. And teenagers don't know what to do. They're like, what happened? I had these cute little babies that kind of adored me, and now they're slamming the door in my face. What is happening? I don't know who I am now that my kids are growing. Or hard to have the little kids, teenagers are a breeze. Like it affects all of us completely differently. And so the song isn't a general kind of everybody goes through this at the same time in the same stage. But I do think it is something we should all be asking ourselves, because our lives have changed. Our whole lives change. People talk about, going from 1 to 2 kids was such a massive change for me, going from 2 to 3 or whatever it is. I'm like, going from 0 to 1, it's the biggest change of in anybody's brain. Like, that is a massive change. I was 23 when I had my first child. I was doing very well in my career, and suddenly everything changed. Everything changed very, very suddenly. And I had this idea that I was going to strap my baby to my back and we were going to go off and we were going to do things together. And between takes, I'd breastfeed and it'd be great. Didn't quite work out that way, obviously. You get pregnant and your body changes, and suddenly you have 60 extra pounds on you, or however many kilos that is, 35, 40. I put on a lot of weight. I got cystic acne during my first pregnancy and while I was breastfeeding, because I suddenly became allergic to dairy products. Who knew that was possible? But I was allergic and I didn't know. And so I kept having milk and cheese and all the things, and got like 60 cystic acne bumps and spots on my face. And I'm a terrible picker, especially when I'm struggling with who I am. I'm like, I know if I'm struggling with who I am, I should get really close to the mirror and then squeeze my spots, because that will help me feel more myself. Don't tell me you haven't done it. So, I had been used to showing up to auditions and throwing on any clothes because everything fit and everything was easy. And suddenly I've got to get new wardrobe and go on a diet and exercise more. And I've got a baby and I've got gigantic filled boobs. Like, I did not have a problem with breastfeeding. For anyone that did, I'm really sorry. It's a massive disappointment if you can't provide the milk your baby needs and you wanted to breastfeed. In my case, I had enough milk to feed the entire neighborhood 24/7. I would be spraying milk wherever I went. I had cubes for boobs. They were ridiculous. And I went from a very normal cup size to a quadruple D in 5 seconds. It was ridiculous. I did not know what to do with these things. I hadn't had them before. Had my baby slept through the night very quickly. So I had this kind of lots of physical shifts, which is totally normal. I was too inexperienced and immature to realize that that was actually going to be a thing for me. I didn't work for a while after I had him because I couldn't fit in my own body. I'd always been super athletic and very fit and healthy and everything. And suddenly I couldn't run because I would have toppled forward with the extra weight I was carrying in milk jugs. So I had to adjust. So many little things had to be adjusted. And when you have that many little things to be adjusted, it can pay a toll. I didn't have to have a routine in the work I do because I'm a creative. I'm in the acting profession. I have 3, 4, 5 auditions this week, none the next week, book a job from 3 weeks ago, have to travel to such and such a place, shoot for 15 hours a day, come home, not work for 3 months. Like, there's no routine with that kind of life. And suddenly I've got a baby who I wanted to put on a routine, who I personally felt it was going to be better for his metabolism and sleeping through the night and everything if I had him on a strict routine. But I hadn't been in a routine since I was 18 in school, and it was a lot of small adjustments that sent me a little bit loopy because I lost a lot of who I had based my identity upon, like what I had based my identity upon, on my career, on the way I looked, on the way I felt, the things I was free to go do. All my friendships had to shift because none of my friends had kids and I suddenly did, and they are going off to hang out here or they're going off to do this, and hey, let's have a weekend away here. I'm like, well, can I bring the baby? I had to ask for lots of favors from lots of friends, couldn't afford any childcare. So I'm going, well, I need to audition and my husband's working. So can you hold the baby while I go in for this meeting? And suddenly my friends are like, wait, what? What? It was a lot. And it deeply affected my identity. I loved being a mum. I loved having this baby. I loved having the opportunity to be his parent for all of them. But with every child, more identity stuff came up. And when we then moved to America after having 2 kids, once I had 2 kids, I got into a bit of a groove. We had a little bit more money to be able to afford some childcare. I started working more, and we had this great groove going. We moved to America, pregnant, after a month after arriving, baby 9 months later, 10 months after we got here, 3 little boys, 6, 3, and 0. New house, new country, no community, no family, no friends, no money. That was the biggest shock of all. And that's where this song really comes from. It's when everything that used to inform who I was outside of my marriage and outside of my faith, who have I become? Everything has changed. And it's a fundamental question I think everybody should ask themselves, but I think it's particularly relevant to mothers because so much is expected of us. We're expected to be everything and be able to do everything and have it all. And we're just exhausted a lot of the time. Like I have friends now that have kids who are saying, why am I so tired all the time? I'm like, let's just go through your day, shall we? Let's just go through when you actually had a moment to breathe. Did you have any time today to do anything other than run around after toddlers? Did you have time when they were napping to do anything? You're like, oh, I had to do all my housework, or I had to pay my bills, or I had to, while they were napping, I put them in their car seats and we went to the grocery store. Like, you're exhausted because you don't have a second to yourself. You don't have a moment to think. And I wish I had been kinder to myself and built time into my day to actually think. That's me. That I need time to think. I need time to process what's happening. And I love thinking. I literally love thinking. I didn't realize until I didn't have time to think anymore that I love thinking. It was just normal. I would just think. I would stop and I would process. Before I went to bed, when I was a teenager, every night, I'd spend about 30 minutes. I slept on a futon on the floor. I had a big window next to my little futon, and I would keep the curtains open before I went to bed, and I'd look at the sky, whether it was cloudy or stars or the moon. I would gaze at the sky through my bedroom window with all the lights off in my room, and for 30 minutes before I'd go to sleep, I would actively think through my day. After you've got lots of little children running around, 30 minutes of thinking is not a possibility. You put your head on the pillow and you're out. The curtains can be open, the lights can be on, music can be playing. You can have a party going on next door. Does anyone need me? Suddenly there's no time to think. I wish I had built time to think into my day. I didn't. The opening line of this song is the waiting. The mundane things we do to look after these babies is so vital for their well-being, for their physical, mental, emotional health. You have to do so many little things that are physically demanding, but and often mentally taxing, but they're mundane. Whether it's laundry or tidying up toys, or laundry or tidying up toys, or driving them places, or laundry or tidying up toys, or driving them places, or making food, going to the grocery store, or doing laundry, like rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It's a lot of little things that make up the day where you feel like you haven't done anything, but you've done so much because there's so many little things to do. And there's I like to think because I like to feed my brain. I love reading. I love educating myself in things. I have a very inquisitive brain. I need to feed it or it gets bored and it becomes a monster and it starts yelling for food. And as I sit here in this car line, is the opening line, wondering what might have been. What might have been if I hadn't had kids when I did? All the hours I've spent waiting here, holding my steering wheel, being told to get off my phone by car attendants because even though I'm just sitting still for 5 minutes waiting for some kid to say goodbye, but they forgot their lunchbox and they forgot to kiss their mum and they forgot all the things, and I'm just sitting there, and then I glance at my phone to see if I've got any work emails I need to check, and they're like, get off your phone! Anyway, as I sit here in this car line wondering what might have been, all the hours I've spent waiting here, I could have got my PhD. But I'm just sitting in the car. Have you got everything, sweetie? Have you got I've already made the lunch. I've already done the thing. I've already got this done. We've did the homework. We signed the form. We made sure you've got everything for your field trip. It's all the little things. And it's vital. And it's a vital part of parenting. And it doesn't have to be a vital part of motherhood. It can be a part of fatherhood. You can share jobs with your spouse or your partner or the babysitter or your parents if they help you out. Whoever is helping you out, please learn to ask for help, because I didn't do that as well. And it really affected my identity. I thought as a woman, the example I had in my mother was she does the children. Everything to do with kids is my mum. My dad goes to work. My mum does kids and house and all of that. It was not a fair division of labour. It just wasn't. And my mum was passionate about having children and building a family. So she never complained. She never asked for help. And when she got help, my dad thought she didn't need it. And so he would sometimes get rid of people. After she had me, she had 4 young children and she had someone helping out. And my dad told her to go home one day and not come back because he felt my mum didn't need her anymore. Didn't ask my mother about that. Bit of a mistake on his part. But she was so determined to get things right as a mother, having not had a mother that got anything right, that she just went, you know what, I can do it. I'll just do it. I'll just keep calm and carry on. She's very, very British. We're going to keep calm and carry on. And I don't know that she even said anything to my dad. Maybe she did. But I didn't ever see her asking for help, so I didn't know you could. I didn't know it was a thing. I thought as a mum, you have to do everything. And I wore myself out, fully wore myself out. I actually got really sick. I actually had a lot of autoimmune issues and became allergic to all food, which was a problem because I needed to eat. I became excruciatingly skinny, unhealthily so. And because I couldn't eat most foods, I came out in hives and I would have all kinds of issues with my body, and doctors would just say, well, don't eat what you're allergic to. And I was like, yeah, but I'm becoming more allergic to more things. What's the problem? What's the actual problem here? So I managed to find a wonderful chiropractor who could help me. Thank you, Lord, for alternative medicines, because autoimmune diseases are not known or understood by the medical profession yet, not in a very real way, unless they can unless it's super serious, then they're going to really investigate. But it's often then you have to have an organ transplant and you're on steroids the rest of your life or something like that. Getting to the root of the issue with an autoimmune disease is the only way for complete healing. 2 sessions with this chiropractor and I could eat anything. It was literally a miracle. So thank you, God. Thank you, Dr. Jerry. But I was turning in on myself. An autoimmune disease is where your immune system attacks your own body. So you are literally punishing yourself, hating yourself, not fully understanding what's going on because you're just doing the right thing. And you end up, if you're not careful, you end up like me, going down a road where everything is turning in on you because you just feel like you've lost who you are. And what it took for me was a big shift, which we'll talk about in the next songs. Like, we're going to get some deep stuff for you mummies, for you mamas, for the ones that are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I really want to talk about this stuff. I didn't have all the answers straight away, which is why this song stays with who am I, where I am, and ends with who am I now. There's no resolution yet. We haven't got there yet. We'll get to the resolutions in some other songs. But I'm sitting here for a little bit because I want you to feel the uncomfortability of asking that question of yourself. Who am I? Where am I? Like, how did I get here? Who am I now? What has happened to the me that I used to know? Who is the me now? And some people are fabulous at adjusting. I needed to really go deep and figure it out. And maybe the thing that terrifies you the most is when your kids are going to leave home, because your identity is now built solely on being a mother. Who will you be when your kids are no longer there? Who will you be when there's no one to look after anymore? Do you have any dreams and passions? Do you have anything you want to do? Do you want to get a PhD? And you couldn't while you had your kids around? What is it? What have you lost along the way? The second verse of this song talks about wading through loads of laundry, trying to find my missing parts. We all have missing clothes and socks and the things that we keep losing in the laundry. It's a mystery. We can't understand it. But we lose parts of ourselves. Like, why? I also ask, why do we hide ourselves? Why do we hide these gorgeous bodies that are incredible and can make children, like make humans? And we'll hide ourselves after we've become mothers because we're ashamed of the bodies we now have. But these are the most extraordinary bodies on the planet. I can't, look, I'm thin and healthy and don't have too many different things with my body. I definitely have things I didn't have before having kids, things you can't see. Trust me, they're there. But why do we hide our miracles of bodies? Why are we ashamed of what we've become or who we ever were? What is it about being female? What is it about being a mother? What is it about how different our bodies are now that we can be ashamed of? Who am I now? What is happening with me now that I need to celebrate? And the guilt of feeling bad about yourself because you've had these kids. I'm going deep on the lyrics on this one because it's really, really important. In the bridge, I love these precious babies. They need me to be everything that I need to be as an example to them. why am I complaining? I feel guilty about complaining because my kids are amazing and I love being a mum, but I'm still finding it hard to figure me out in this season. But it's still this kind of ache. I found an ache inside me of I struggle to shift who I am or find who I am in something other than anything external. I realized that a lot of my identity was built on external things. It was built on the things I could do, the jobs I could do, the ability I had to just pick up and leave and do fun, exciting adventures. I had a lot of externals, and I had to discover what those things were so I could fully address them. And that's tough. That requires a lot of thinking time. And it requires a lot of self-reflection, and it requires a lot of humility to say, I've been wrong and I've got this wrong, and it's okay that I haven't been getting this right, probably my whole life. Now is the opportunity to make a shift, to base who I am on something other than an external. Who I am is individual. Who I am is unique. Who I am can be based on the love that I can receive. Who I am can be based on things that can never change. And I would highly, deeply encourage every one of us to really go deep on that, to really take the time, make the time to discover your true identity in who you are now. Because everything's changed. Whether your kids have just been born or they're about to leave home, we must shift and change and give ourselves time to figure this stuff out. I love self-care. I think it's beautiful to get your nails done. I think it's gorgeous to have a nice long hot soak in the tub. Those things are important. But for me, self-care is taking the time to make sure I'm okay. Spiritually, emotionally, mentally, to make sure I'm keeping myself healthy on the inside, keeping my body healthy. Self-care for me is thinking, it's stopping, it's processing, it's understanding, it's having empathy towards myself. It's discovering the parts of me I don't like and addressing that and forgiving myself. It's self-care is forgiving others. Self-care is asking for forgiveness from others that you have wronged in your false identity. Done it so many times. Been so judgy. Don't like that. Don't like being judgy. Don't like it. Don't want to do it. And I have had to learn some really rough, tough, humiliating, but humbling lessons that have been so beautiful to come to a place where I am beginning to base who I am on something other than things that can change. And let's be honest, motherhood changes every single day. They need you so much when they're little, and then you spend the rest of their childhood teaching them to leave you and be independent. And then they leave you. And you're still a mother, but it's completely different. I have kids out the house now. It's completely different. They need you. They want advice from you, hopefully. But it's a different kind of advice. It's how they are making a life for themselves. What decisions they have to make for themselves. You can give them advice, but you are no longer making those decisions for them. It shifts and changes all the time. So give yourself time, give yourself the space to ask this question. Sing this song to yourself. Sing it with your friends. I will be gathering many of you at some point to sing this song together and have this conversation in person. I love singing this song with women. It's the best thing ever. I've had two occasions so far where I have been able to sing this song with a group of other mothers, and it is super emotional and it is fabulous. And at the end of this song, when you sing it with a group of women, a lot of people are crying. It's a really important question. Please take some time today, tomorrow, and the next day, and every day for the rest of your life to ask yourself this question and continually find the answer.